Rota is the host, so he will go whenever ready, I guess, and we can go from there. So let's quickly hop over to the game screen, and let's get going with our first game of the tournament, guys. It is a TVP, and we are starting up on La Mancha. Now, I just need to make sure I'm pressing the right keys. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so spawning here in the top left corner, we do have our purple Protoss player. It will be Rota in the 10 o'clock position. And joining him in the bottom left, the 7 o'clock position, we do have Navane, someone who recently joined the Foreign Brood War Discord, so he may be a little bit newer. He is the Teal Terran, and he is going to put on a show for you now, hopefully. Games that Rota plays are always interesting. He plays very interesting styles. He's very aggressive as well, so we could see that come out in this game. Now, one thing you may notice is I am hiding the overlay in the top right. I'm trying to take a few cues from watching a lot of Pro League and OSL VODs recently. In the later OSLs and Pro Leagues, like 2011 onwards, they start, well, I mean, that was pretty much the last year of them. They started like they did it in 2010 as well. They had like the resource bar in the bottom left, but what they do is they wouldn't show it all the time. They would only show it at certain points in the game, like for the first like 5 or so minutes, maybe less, like usually after the person's expanded, they would bring it up, and basically this was to protect the build orders. I know it's not too important these days, these aren't fully pro games, but you know what? I want to extend some of that authenticity. Looks like Navane's going to get his wall going up for the possible zealots, which could be coming his way. Rota is known on Foreign Brood War for being a little bit aggressive early game as Protoss. He's also known for tilting a lot, so it'll be interesting to see if Navane can take a single game out of this. Rota may actually just throw it. This is going to be kind of cool to watch. I can't wait to find out what happens. But I've got a nice cup of tea. Yeah, basically a nice cup of tea, sort of take me through the first couple of games, hopefully. And we do see the early gas for our Terran player. Now, both of them unfortunately scouting the wrong direction, so it will be a very long time before either player can be overly aggressive. Now, one thing I did notice more recently is... wait, I need to remember, so it's E for this. More recently, one thing I've noticed is the observing in Pro League and OSL was not as clean cut as I remember. Like, there was a lot of like really jagged moves and things like that, and I kind of want to... I don't want to replicate that. I kind of want to be a little bit cleaner. It is hard to observe though, so each tournament I think I've got a little bit better. Looks like Rota has seen the SCV now. Rather than go to the other base to actually scout his opponent, he's going to chase the SCV down. This is kind of an interesting scenario. Maybe he's worried about a proxy, or maybe he's thinking about proxying something himself. We did see his minerals were building up a little bit before. I imagine it's going to be for an expansion, but with Rota you cannot be sure. He is pretty much a loose cannon cop on the edge, so... you know what? We'll soon see. We do have the factory coming up for our Terran player. It looks like that is the first Dragoon there, going to move out onto the map. See if he can do some damage. Now, I can only assume this is for a proxy, because he's not added anything else in his main. He's added the third pylon. So, I mean, unless he's skipping something, and adding the pylon in, that'd be kind of interesting, but no expansion coming up for him either. So, kind of interesting to see what Navane's going to do when he actually sees this. It's going to take a while for the SCV to actually get in, and this Dragoon is placed very nicely to intercept this, so it may not even be able to see anything, but here we go. The probe has come down. It will look like he is going to take this expansion, and this SCV, is it going to see it? Let's actually quickly bring up this menu. Doesn't look like it will. It did not see a Nexus just yet. But it, well, I mean, Rota, clever enough, is actually going to wait to put that down, and Navane's going to be completely in the dark. Nothing too much he can do there. Now what I'll do is I'll leave the pane up now for a while, just because it's not too important to hide it at this point. I'll probably remove it in battles, because that makes it a little bit more exciting to see who comes out on top of that. But Rota's still hiding this probe up here. I wonder if he's going to hide a really quick third base. I guess we'll find out, but here we go. Looks like we will have a bit of an FD push coming out of Navane here. He's going to move forward. He does find the 2 Dragoons. And Rota not really microing very well, actually taking a lot of hull damage on this first Dragoon. Due to the pathing of the map, the Dragoons have actually been split up. This is not what you want. You need to be doing damage to these units as they're moving back. And unfortunately, he's not going to be able to, so he's actually going to be at his natural with the Marines and tanks up front. The Vulture is out as well. We see the Command Center coming up, second Vulture on the way. And now we see the first engagement. Looks like the Marines have actually been picked off. He could lose the tank here, but Rota's trying to push forward to do as much damage to the tank he can. Doesn't look like he'll get it though. Navane's actually done a really good job pulling that back. But no, the Vulture getting in the way. The tank could go down here. The tank is gone! And the Dragoons have successfully held off that fake double push. And Richley is a Korean. He was taken out last week though by Terra, so he is not as indestructible as Shiny. For instance, Shiny did win for Clash for Charles, I believe. He's the only person to have had 4 gold medals. I did put a nice cool overlay thing in the thread with all the league table of all the first and second places. It is quite surprising. Terra is the king of Kongs of Clash for Char. He has very, very few. Well, he doesn't actually have a win, but he does have 3 silvers, I believe, and that has got to sting. Like when you've won that many games and you still can't win the final. It must hurt quite badly. He did go out in the final a couple of weeks ago to Dandy as well. No, sorry, was it last week I did Clash of Draft 14? No, I think it was 2 weeks ago. But yeah, that was a painful experience for him, unfortunately. This probe's still not doing anything. I'm kind of surprised what that's there for. Looks like we do have 4 gates coming up from Rota. Looks like he's planning to be a little bit more aggressive. No tech, apart from the observatory, not going for anything like robotics to get any Reavers or anything like that. Just playing pretty standard at the moment. And Navane, this gives him the ability to just sort of sit back. Looks like Navane has played this map before. This is a really nice place to siege your tank. It does give you very good vision, and also it does shoot to, I believe, about here. Although very, very confusing with tank range and vision and stuff. Looks like we do have some Vultures being cleaned up in the middle of the map. Yeah, it's an interesting choice, the first match. The thing is, it was one of the first round. There's very few games, so I kind of wanted to do 1 game from the first round to give maybe, like, Navane's a newer player. I don't know how long he's actually played the game, but he said he's working really hard, and I wanted to showcase one of his games, just so he can sort of get the hang of things, like learn what it's like to be casted and everything like that. I'm not going to be overly critical on what he's doing because that's not what I'm here for. I'm just here to build up the hype, but looks like Rote is planning to go for some kind of bulldog here, so I can only imagine we'll get 4 zealots popping out these gateways in just a moment. And this could be very dangerous. There is an observer just sat over the natural. Is the engineering bay finished? It just has now, but he has no turrets. Without any NTR, this could be quite dangerous. Looks like the shuttle has gone back to pick up the units. A nice scan does go down. Does he see the shuttle? Yes, he does. He does know there's a shuttle on the way. Is he going to be able to defend against this? Looks like Rota sending another probe out over here to take this top right base. Not opting to really do anything with this. Kind of interesting. But we do have the shuttle once again being scouted by the mines. For someone who's quite new, Navane's doing a really good job spreading his mines around, getting that all-important vision that you do need in TVP. But here we go, this could be a very dangerous timing for him. A lot of his Vultures are actually stacked up on top of the mines. I need to stop following this. How do I stop following it? Looks like we do have the Dragoons coming in from one side. The tank on the top has gone down. Mine! The mine! Could it do so much damage? It only gets 1 Dragoon. But this tank at the back, if he repairs, it could get a few more. Another nice mine, though, does get taken down immediately by the Dragoons, and this could be a very, very dangerous time for Navane. He's pulling his SUVs back up the ramp. He's trying to move down with some Vultures. It doesn't look like he has speed yet. And the Dragoons are doing so much here. Navane needs to look to re-expand, though, or he could be in a lot of trouble. Just to keep an eye on the fight here. He's got a couple of tanks, I believe, on the high ground. Can he actually hold this off? Looks like he can. He just needs to look to re-expand. Some nice A nice vulture here actually gonna... There's no... Oh, the mine! The mine! Oh, nice. Free kill there. Does get some of the reinforcements. And this is gonna be... I was going to say again, I keep saying the same stuff over and over again, my bad. Okay, here we go. It looks like the Dragoons just trying to take down this barracks. They're kind of trapped here though. This is actually a bit of a mistake from Rota here. He could lose his, like, pretty much his entire army. The tanks are just out of vision range. Just out of firing range even. He needs to pull back his vultures. He's throwing away his vultures here. He's trying to bait the Dragoons, who are quite heavily damaged, into the siege tanks. A nice mine does get another one, but this could be a huge mine drag. No! The tanks on the ramp just managed to survive. The Dragoon on the ramp here will go down as well. But Rota finds himself once again pushed back. Navane can now re-expand and take his base. But Rota, of course, does have this base in the top right, and this is going to be very good for him. Looks like he's even going to take the 3 o'clock position as well. And yeah, this could be quite fun from here. Now, Navane isn't out. He didn't lose too many SCVs. He lost... Wait, his tank count was reset, but looks like he's going for the more vulture-heavy style of 5-pack with only 1 machine chop at the moment. Of course, he did only have the 1 gas. For the time being, he needs a turret up here to defend his mines, but having his tank siege in the right place, he needs to be careful though. This mine could be very dangerous if there is, for instance, another mine drag coming in. Now, Templar Archives is on the way from Rota. He may be going into a more Kingdom style. I know I lost to that on a ladder yesterday, so maybe he's showing me how it's done, maybe testing Navane, because it is a very, very old style. You skip Arbiters and Carriers and go straight for Templar, and you just spam the hell out of Storm and DTs, and it is very frustrating to play against. But once again, the barracks is going back up. Luckily for Navane, he did get his 5-fact up. It is a little bit later than you'd be expecting. Normally you kind of want to get the 5th factory around 6 minutes, maybe a little bit earlier, but he was sort of set behind a bit by Rota's attack there. He has now taken his natural again. Looks like his SCV saturation a little bit dodgy, same as mine. Got a few idle SCVs sort of all over the place, but Rota looking to clear out the game, or close out the game even. Moving out on the middle of the map, he's got a gateway in the top right now, not actually opting to take the gas, and not opting to take 12, kind of interesting there. But the Templar Archives is complete. I guess he's just waiting for Storm to go in. Still no speed on the Vultures. Navane's got this incredibly late. If these had speed, they'd be a lot more potent. I mean, he could even move in and do some damage. There's nothing actually defending up here. But without speed, he's not really going to be able to do too much. Unfortunately for him, looks like he's forgot speed. One of the things of watching a sort of lower level game, Rota's not too bad, but Navane, as I said, has pretty much just started up, I believe. Looks like he has scanned and seen this probe, so he's actually going to go and kill it. This probe that's been there the whole game is finally going to go down. Didn't manage to put a pile on before it died, but is Rota going to react? It looks like he's going to send some of his army back. Interesting choice to send it all back, but he does have a nice wall up here, so the Vulture shouldn't really be able to get in. Now, how many gateways is he on? He's on 8 gateways against the 5 factories from our Terran player. The problem Navane's going to have is trying to take another base. Now, interestingly, he's managed to pull Rota away, but here we go. The DTs have begun to be built. This is definitely the Kingdom style you're watching here, ladies and gentlemen. No scan to take that out, and unfortunately the Vultures do get trapped by the Dragoons. A nice mine doesn't kill the DT, the second one does though. Nice mine though on the Dragoons. And the Vulture passed back due to the weird bridge, but ooh, nearly another big mine, but not quite as lucky as he could have been. Now, Rota just has units everywhere. Oops, sorry, it looks like I did miss a DT drop in the main. Luckily enough, I did catch the tail end of it. A nice turret will actually stop the DTs, so that's not too much damage being done, but the starport has been forced to lift. And I'm kind of surprised that Rota isn't going in to kill him. Maybe he doesn't want to throw the game. It is being casted, so maybe feeling a little bit of pressure. Needs to micro this tank back though. This tank is going to go down to the 2 Zealots. There's nothing he can do. Both Zealots on quite low health. Using tanks on the low ground to help defend here. Nice move. The tanks on the high ground once again showing how useful they are. Now let's see what's going on in this other base. Still no gateways up here. I guess he's not planning to sort of reroute his production. Looks like we do have a little bit of an engagement there. Some of the Dragoons get caught off guard by the tanks. Now, These mines are incredibly close to his tank line. He needs to be very careful here, or that could end in absolute disaster. Do we have any upgrades on the way? Looks like his armory isn't spinning. He does have 1-1, so it looks like he's waiting to build his science facility to get that done. Looks like he's just about missed that. Bit unfortunate for him, but should be pretty good moving forward. Arbiter Tribunal is on the way, so it isn't going to be Kingdom style. Maybe Kingdom style heavily arbs, but you know what, Rota's up to 4 bases. Looks like Navane did leave a mine over here to stop any possible expansions. But I'm kind of surprised what Rota's doing. He's not really being aggressive. He's sort of just sitting there, just macroing up behind. Looks like we have a couple of scans going down, just to see what's going on from the Terran player's perspective. And we should finally see the science facility on the way in just a moment here, but looks like Rota is going to move in. Units flooding in from both sides. Two shuttles here. They're flying over the tanks. There's so many mines so close to the tanks. This could be very bad. Oh, the mines! The mines were good. They connected. The shuttles do go down. Most of the zealots are down, but the main bulk of the Terran army has been decimated. Mines at the front though. This could be his last saving grace. Another huge mine drag. One mine on top of that tank does go down, but some really nice tank shots from these high ground tanks here will manage to keep him in the game. He's not lost too much here. His tank count not even really reset. He did lose a lot to the mine drags, which is a bit unfortunate for him. But he can still try and take a third base here. I'm just not sure where he's going to take it or how. At this point, Rota is building up off of the 10 or 12 gateways now. I believe that's 11. The one number I didn't say. Rota up 100 supply. Just absolutely decimating him here. And there's even Dragoons down here in the bottom right to try and catch any floating SCVs. But this is a bit of a slugfest now. Rota quite recently has been saying he feels like he's playing really bad, but genuinely I don't think his macro is going too bad. Of course, he's not really been pressured too much this game. There's not really been too much vulture harass going on, especially with the late speed from the vultures. Now, this is a good move. He did scan the fact there was an Arbiter Tribunal. Look at him. He's building the mines in his base. He's placing them down, making use of those biker dudes. Like, just making sure that you're perfectly defending against recalls is one of the major stepping stones as Terran, really. Like, when you learn how to defend versus recall, it feels pretty good. Looks like we did have a little bit of a mine connection there, not quite enough to kill the Zealot. Only +1 though for Rota. 1-1 still for our Terran player with 2-1 on the way. Second armory 4-2-2. Still only on 5 factories, still no expansion in sight. Not sure how he's really going to manage it at this point. I think he's planning on waiting until at least 2-1 and going for a big push. We do have the vessel sort of in the middle of the map here now. There is a huge army waiting for him outside of his base, but is he going to get the money engagement? You can win engagements as Terran with a lot less supply. It's very, very difficult, but it can be done. I've seen it done in pro games. All is not lost for our Terran player here. Looks like he needs to be careful. He's moving very, very quickly, and his army is going to find itself very sandwiched very soon. Not really anything to defend now. Looks like Rota is going to try and send units back. A nice mine! Oh, a nice mine there, doing so much damage there to the Dragoon forces. And some nice mines actually blocking the army from coming back. This is a very, very nice push by Rota here. Another nice mine does go down. And Rota is forced into a counterattack. He can't actually come behind. Can he siege his tanks? Can he hold his natural? This is going to be a very, very tight engagement here, but it looks like the counterattack might be too much. A nice mine actually taking out a lot of the zealots here, but not enough units. All of the units, Navane not pushed far enough in. And I just sounded very much like my nan saying fur instead of far, but here we go. Mine on the bridge, mine. Oh, 2 of the zealots go down. But I think unfortunately this is the swan song for our Terran player, who finds himself only 90 supply behind now. He's going to be able to take out 2 of the minor bases, but it's not enough. He can't defend his main. And GG. I actually think that was a fun game. Bit of an APM discrepancy, but I thought that was kind of cool. So they're going to be moving on to our next map, which will, in fact, be... let's actually just report the win. So this is a best of 3, of course, to start off. Let's just quickly bring up the map screen, which will be there. I'm not going to press the start button again, but the Manchester stats haven't changed yet. That's something I need to work on. But here we go. Where are we? Go to the right screen, and let's go into the next game, which will be on Longinus. Just quickly taking a sip of my tea. Just taking a look back at the replay there on my stream preview. Navane hopefully knows it's best of 3. Okay, Navane's back, so we can get going in just a second. Looks like people have just caught up with my only 90 supply behind. Okay, they're both ready, so let's jump into the game again. Don't want to forget to change the game screen. Here we go, we are going into Longinus, and it is going to be a fun game. Let's go. Okay, so spawning us in the top left position, he is down in this series. It is the Teal Terran once again, Navane. Or Navane, I'm not sure. I can never be sure on names. But spawning over in the 3 o'clock, we do have the Brown Protoss. It is SCC-rOuta. Let's just quickly set the colours up so it all matches everything. Can't believe he got teal again though. He's playing he's shift tabbed. Oh, that's what he's doing. Okay, just a friendly reminder as well, there is a code you can put in the top left of the screen here to donate a $3 to the prize pool. Looks like some of them have been used already. Prize pool a little bit lower than it normally is. It's actually only at $7 right now, so any code you can use would be very much appreciated. It's not as big of a tourney this week, just based on the numbers, so a little bit of a smaller prize pool looks like. But you never know what donations might hold. I do apologise, I support it a little bit more myself, but I'm kind of poor, so it's kind of hard. Looks like we do have the gateway on the way for Rota, so he isn't going to go for a Nexus first or anything too crazy. And Navane looks like he's going to build his barracks here to create that Zealot type wall. May suggest to him that you can actually make a Zealot type wall at the natural here, which is very good against Protoss. Allows you to take the natural a bit earlier, but he does play for the FD, and it looks like we will see this again with the 1111, with the gas and racks. Now, Rota this time is actually going to get the first scout, and this is going to be very nice for him. And he's going to be able to do some pro-harass here. Now, I've played against Rota, and his pro-harass is actually very annoying. He's not a god of pro-harass, of course. He isn't like a top-level foreigner, especially not a top pro. But his pro-harass is still very annoying to deal with. Like, pro-harass is one of the things that basically kind of sucks with TVP. Like, it's really hard to deal with when you're low level. Like, when I first started, I would lose games to a scouting probe because it was just so hard to deal with. Looks like we're actually going to see 2-gate with range coming up from the Cybernetics core this time from our Finnish Protoss here, Rota. He likes being quite aggressive. I did say that before, but we do see the factory on the way. Now, this is a very good map for that 2-gate Power Goon style. There is, of course, no ramp, so very powerful there. Range is going to be on the way very shortly. Looks like we have the second pylon as well. Just to sort of macro up. Looks like the probe didn't stay. I didn't want to overstay his welcome. Didn't go for the gas steal because we're a little bit too late. And just to answer the question in chat, you can use normal Brood War for the cup. I believe you can play multiplayer with the non-remastered version, so please do sign up next time and have a bit of fun. Here we go, factory almost complete, range on the way. We will see 2 Dragoons popping out from these in just a moment. I'm actually going to time them. But we have the SCV. The SCV is going to scout this. It's a very important scout for him to make. Just purely on the basis that if you don't scout the 2-gate Power Goon, you will just die. Like, it's really hard to actually FD into a 2-gate Power Goon. It's quite dangerous. So I just want to check. Yeah, I definitely didn't mute myself. But of course, if you are just tuning in for the first time, this is the Clash of Char number 15. I still can't actually believe I've posted 15 of these. It looks like Rota is going to be a little bit sneaky. He doesn't want me to be able to explain what the tournament is. He is building a pylon down here at the 5 o'clock position. Is this going to be for a proxy robo, or is this going to be for a quick expansion at the double gas? We will soon find out. I believe he's just waiting to build a building. Now, if we're going to have a... let's have a bet here. So he's going 2-gate Power Goon. He's staying in gas. It's Rota. I would 100% say that the building back here is going to be a robo, but we will see in just a moment. Keeping an eye on the Dragoons, because he may just win the game here and then. Looks like it... oh, it's a Citadel. Proxy Citadel. Is he going to be able to get the tank? It looks like he'll get the tank. The tank goes down. And all that's left is 1 Marine and some SCVs. This is a very harsh way to lose the game. I feel so bad for Navane right now, but this is a near impossible position to come back from, especially without a wall. You can actually wall with a barracks and a depot as well, so kind of no reason not to wall on this position, but there we go. Navane kind of newer in the game. Bit unfortunate for him, he's going to lose. It looks like Siege Check did finish. Siege Check finished, but it doesn't matter. He's not going to be able to defend the tank when it pops out. The tank could even get caught in the SCVs. Now what's going to happen? Looks like he has pulled everything he has. The tank's popped out. He needs to pull the tank back. He can't lose the tank. If he keeps the tank alive, he may still be able to win, but no! The tank goes down and GG! Rota will move on to the next round of the Clash of Char number 15.